Have you ever been on a peaceful walk with your dog, and then out of nowhere, another dog appears down the street, and your sweet, lovable pup transforms into a completely different animal? Barking, lunging, pulling, making you look like you have absolutely no control. Yeah, we've all been there. And the worst part? You don't even know why it's happening. Your dog is amazing at home. Calm, cuddly, happy. But the second another dog shows up on a walk, it's like someone flipped a switch inside them. Today, we're going to figure out exactly why that happens. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand your dog on a whole new level. Because once you understand the why, the how to fix it, becomes so much clearer. So let's get into it. First, let's talk about something most dog owners don't even consider. When your dog barks at another dog on a walk, it doesn't always mean what you think it means. A lot of people assume their dog is being aggressive. They think, "Oh no, my dog is mean. My dog doesn't like other dogs. My dog is broken." But here's the truth. Barking on a leash is almost never about being mean. It's about communication. Dogs bark because they are feeling something really strongly, and they don't have words to express it. So they use the only tool they have, their voice. Think about it this way. Imagine you're walking down the street, and you see someone you're really excited to meet. But someone is holding you back. You can't go over. You can't say hi. You can't do anything. What would you do? You'd probably yell something, right? You'd make noise. You'd try to communicate somehow. That's exactly what a lot of dogs are doing. They're not trying to be aggressive. They're frustrated. They want to interact, but the leash is stopping them. This is actually called leash reactivity, and it's one of the most common issues dog owners face. But leash reactivity isn't the only reason dogs bark at other dogs on walks. There are actually several different reasons this can happen, and understanding which one applies to your dog is the key to everything. So let's break them down one by one. The first reason is frustration. And we already touched on this a little, but let's go deeper. Dogs are social animals. They're wired to sniff, greet, and communicate with other dogs. It's part of who they are. They see another dog and their brain lights up. They want to go, but the leash says no. And that tension, that gap between what they want to do and what they can actually do, that's frustration. And frustration in dogs comes out as barking, lunging, and pulling. When you're at home or at the dog park, your dog can do all of that freely. They can run up, sniff a nose, wag a tail, and figure out if this new dog is a friend or not. But on a walk? On a leash? They can't do any of that. The tricky thing about frustration barking is that the dog might actually love other dogs. They might be the friendliest dog in the world off leash. But on leash, they look like a tiny furry monster. This confuses so many owners. They think, "My dog plays great with dogs at the park, so why does he go crazy on walks?" Now you know. It's the leash. It's the restriction. It's the frustration of being held back. The second reason is fear. And this one is really important to understand, especially if your dog's barking looks more defensive than excited. Some dogs bark at other dogs on walks not because they want to approach, but because they're scared. The other dog feels like a threat to them. And when an animal feels threatened and can't escape, their natural response is to try to scare the threat away. So they bark. They lunge. They make themselves look as big and scary as possible. This is called distance increasing behavior. The dog is essentially saying, "Stay away from me. I am scary. Don't come near me." It's a bluff in most cases. They're not actually going to fight. They're trying to create space. They're trying to feel safe. Fear-based reactivity often comes from a lack of socialization when the dog was young. If a puppy doesn't get enough positive exposure to other dogs during those early weeks and months, other dogs can feel unfamiliar and scary. And unfamiliar things are frightening to dogs, just like they can be frightening to us. Sometimes fear-based reactivity also comes from a bad experience. Maybe your dog was attacked by another dog once. Maybe they had a painful or scary encounter with an unfamiliar dog early in life. And now their brain has made a connection. Other dogs equal danger. And the safest thing to do is bark first and ask questions later. The third reason is overexcitement. This one is less talked about, but it's super common. Some dogs are just really excitable. Everything is amazing to them. A leaf blowing in the wind is amazing. A squirrel is life-changing. And another dog? Another dog is basically the most incredible thing in the universe. So when they see another dog on a walk, their excitement level shoots through the roof so fast that they don't know how to handle it. They can't contain it. And that excitement spills out as barking, jumping, and spinning around like they've lost their mind. This type of barking usually looks different from fear barking or frustration barking. The dog's body language is loose and wiggly. Their tail is wagging like crazy. Their whole back end is moving. They want to play. They're not scared. They're just too excited. Way too excited. The problem with overexcitement is that even though the dog means no harm, the barking and lunging can scare other dogs, frustrate other owners, and make walks really stressful for everyone involved, including you. The fourth reason is territorial instinct. Now, dogs are deeply territorial animals. That's just part of their DNA. And the walk itself can actually trigger that instinct. Here's how it works. When you walk your dog through the neighborhood, your dog starts to think of that route as their territory. These are their streets. These are their sidewalks. They've peed on those fire hydrants and those corners and those patches of grass. This is their space. So when another dog shows up in their space, their territorial instinct kicks in. Who is this stranger walking through my territory? What do they want? This is mine. And out comes the barking. Territorial barking tends to be more intense and more serious looking than frustration or excitement barking. The dog is stiff. Their ears are forward. Their tail might be high. Their bark is loud and deep. They're not playing around. They're making a statement. The fifth reason is genetics and breed instincts. And this one often surprises people, but it makes a lot of sense once you think about it. Different dog breeds were bred for different purposes. And some of those purposes make certain breeds naturally more reactive to other dogs. For example, herding breeds like Border Collies and Australian Shepherds were bred to respond to movement and to manage the behavior of other animals. When they see another dog moving around, their brain immediately wants to respond to it. It might come out as intense staring, barking, or circling. Guard breeds like German Shepherds and Rottweilers were bred to protect and to be suspicious of strangers, including strange dogs. So their default response to an unknown dog might be alert and reactive. Terriers were bred to hunt small animals and to be tenacious and feisty. That feistiness doesn't turn off around other dogs. This doesn't mean breeds like these can't be calm around other dogs. They absolutely can. But it does mean that their genetics might make them work a little harder to stay calm. It's something to be aware of if you have one of these breeds, so you don't just blame yourself or your dog. Some of it is just wiring. The sixth reason is your own energy and behavior. And I know this might be uncomfortable to hear, but stay with me, because this is really important. Dogs are incredibly sensitive to our emotions. They read us constantly. The way we hold the leash, the way our shoulders tense up, the way we hold our breath. They feel all of it. So here's what often happens on walks. You see another dog coming down the street. You remember the last time your dog went crazy. You feel your whole body tense up. You tighten your grip on the leash. Your breathing changes. Your heart rate goes up. And your dog feels all of that. Before the other dog is even close enough to be a threat, your dog has already picked up your stress signal. And they think, my human is nervous about something. I should be nervous too. I should alert. I should react. You essentially confirm their fear or their reactivity without even meaning to. This happens all the time, and most owners have no idea they're doing it. This doesn't mean it's your fault. It's a really easy pattern to fall into. Once you've experienced your dog barking on walks a few times, of course you're going to start anticipating it. That's just human nature. But once you know this is happening, you can start to work on it. Now, we've talked a lot about the reasons why dogs bark. But let's talk about what you can actually start doing about it. The number one thing you can do right now is change your distance. Most reactive dogs have something called a threshold. It's the distance at which they can still see another dog but stay calm. Every dog's threshold is different. Some dogs are fine at 50 feet. Some dogs start reacting at 100 feet. You need to figure out your dog's threshold. Once you know it, your job on walks is to stay outside that threshold as much as possible. Cross the street when you see another dog coming. Turn around. Go a different way. This isn't giving up. This is being smart. You can't teach your dog anything when they're already over the edge. You have to stay below that line. The second thing is to practice calm greetings very slowly and carefully. Don't just let dogs run up to each other on leash. That's often where things go wrong. If you do want your dog to greet another dog, make sure both dogs are calm before you let them get close. Keep it short. Keep it positive. And then move on. The third thing is to work on your own energy. Take a deep breath before you see a dog approaching. Loosen your grip on the leash slightly. Soften your body. Your dog will feel that shift. It won't fix everything overnight, but over time, your calm energy is one of the most powerful tools you have. And the fourth thing is to simply be patient. Leash reactivity doesn't go away overnight. It took time to develop, and it takes time to undo. But dogs are resilient. They can change. They can learn. And with the right approach, most reactive dogs can go from embarrassing nightmares on walks to totally manageable companions. You just have to understand them first. And now you do. Your dog isn't broken. Your dog isn't bad. Your dog is just a dog trying to communicate in the only language they know. And once you start seeing it that way, everything changes. Walks become less stressful. You stop dreading the moment another dog appears. And you start seeing your dog's behavior as a conversation, not a battle. That shift in perspective? That's where real progress starts. If this video helped you understand your dog even a little bit better, please hit that like button right now. It truly helps this channel reach more dog owners who need this information. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? We're here every week breaking down dog behavior in a way that actually makes sense. Drop a comment below and tell us, does your dog bark at other dogs on walks? Let's talk about it. We read every single one. We'll see you in the next video.